Hey, it's your friend Steve. Today I'm going to do my mock draft point one of all NFL teams, not just my Eagles. I'm going to do my best to fix every franchise. Now, some of these picks I wouldn't do, but this is probably more what I think's going to happen. I think what I think's going to happen. All right, let's do it. So, easy breezy. First pick, Jaguars select Hutchinson. Safe pick. They need a pass rusher. They re-signed Cameron Robinson. They don't need an offensive tackle. I would take an offensive tackle because that offensive line, your number one job is to protect Trevor Lawrence. Look what Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow didn't have any offensive protection, and see what happened. But I think they're going to take Hutchinson. All right. The Lions with the second pick. I would love to trade down here, but I just don't see anybody willing to jump up. So the Lions, for me, I think the Lions should take the best player on the board. Change your defense. I think, honestly, the best player on the board is Kyle Hamilton. And you know what? I don't care about a 40 time. I think you take good football players. And good football players, they make plays, and the tape doesn't lie. All right, so the Texans, again, they have a young quarterback. I'm gonna have them take Evan Neal. They have to protect that young quarterback. And here is where it gets a little interesting. I'm gonna do a trade. The Jets and the Saints. I wouldn't do this if it was me, but I think it's going to happen. And the Saints are going to give up the 16th, the 19th, and a third round pick for the fourth overall pick. And it was accepted. All right. Oh, who did they come up for? They came up for Malik Willis. You got to get your franchise quarterback. They're really, honestly, if you really look at that team, they're an offensive tackle and a quarterback away from being contenders. And honestly, if you get a quarterback, I mean, I would re-sign Jameis Winston or trade for Baker and then just draft an offensive lineman at the two picks you have, offensive lineman and maybe a defensive player. But this is the NFL. You need to go ahead and take the best player available. Next, the Giants, as much as I hate to say it, they're going to get Tibio. They're going to take Tibio, and he's going to wreak havoc, and he's going to make a brand for himself in the Big Apple. That's just what he wants to do. I think he's a good player. It's just what it is. He's going to be successful. He's got all the talent in the world. He kind of got shit on. Every year they shit on one prospect. They take one prospect and ruin his life. And this year was Tibio. Now, here's where it gets stupid. The Panthers are up, and they're going to take Kenny Pickett. Yay! Matt Rule tries to save his job, drafts Kenny Pickett. The owner is a Pittsburgh guy. Matt Rule tried to recruit Kenny Pickett. It just makes all the sense in the world. Now, back to the Giants. And this is just really sad, because I think the Giants are going to do something great. And they're going to take, as much as I would hate for them to do this. I think they should. If I was me, I would take Gardner, Sauce Gardner, but no, they're gonna take Charles Cross. They're gonna try to fix that offensive line and see if Daniel Jones is the dude. Falcons are up next. Falcons need everything. I wouldn't take a quarterback here. There's none I would like. A wide receiver makes sense, but I would go. This draft is way too deep. You need to go ahead and take good players. And you haven't had a pass rush in many years. Grady Jarrett is a good player. He's going to get himself a little running mate, a local boy. And this is where Walker comes off the board. I think it just makes all the sense of the world. You need to rebuild that defense. Mariota is a stopgap guy. At the top round, I would go for Sam Howell out of North Carolina, or trade back into the first round. Spoiler alert, it might happen in this draft. Um, and just take the best player on the board. You're a bad team. You need to take the best player. And Sauce Gardner finally comes off the board for the Seahawks. Dude's a savage. Maybe the best player in this draft. Safe pick. I think he's a good player. On to the next one. There's not much to say about him. Hold on. How do I go down? There we go. Next up is the Jets. The Jets, they traded with the Saints. So the Jets are going to go ahead and take an offensive lineman. And they're going to take the kid out of North Carolina State. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. I respect. But he's the best offensive lineman on the board. With their later pick a wide receiver. This goal of this offseason for the Jets is to get help for Zach Wilson. You need to see if Zach Wilson's your dude. And that's just the bulk of it. The Commanders are up next. And as much as everyone says they're going to take a wide receiver, and I hate to do this, I really hate to do this. But this might be a trade scenario. Let's see. Who needs to come up? No, we'll stick at this pick. I don't think so. I don't think anybody's really coming up for anybody. They're gonna take the best player on the board, and they're gonna go. Oh, they don't really need defensive linemen. You know what? They're gonna take George Kalafis out of Purdue. Kind of reminds me of Ryan Kerrigan, a Ryan Kerrigan replacement. And I think it's a good pick. I think he's a good, solid player. If he doesn't go here, I really don't see where he goes, to be honest with you, in the first round. Washington could take a corner. They could take, but I think the best pick is to go for edge rush. Get someone to go with Chase Young. As much as I hate giving them good players. Next pick is the Vikings. People are saying they're going corner. I don't think they're going to go corner. I think they see someone on this board that looks real appealing, and his name is Jordan Davis. Build a better defense. Kirk Cousins, you need a better defense. Kirk Cousins isn't the answer. I would draft a quarterback, but they won't do that because they just paid Kirk Cousins all that money. Next up is the Texans. And who did they go with their first pick? I think they went offensive line. So they're going to go Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. I think you need to just fill that roster with as many good players as you can. And I think he is as good as you get right now. Next up is the Ravens. And I'm going to have them do a little offensive lineman. They're going to take Trevor Penning out of North Iowa. He's just a good player. They need offensive line help. Actually, they probably should have taken the center, Lindenbaum. That's probably who I should have taken, but he wasn't on. I took the best player on the board with need. I think Trevor Penning is a good offensive tackle. They need offensive line help. Next is my Eagles, and this is a perfect scenario for them. They are going to take Garrett Wilson. He wants to be an Eagle. We make him an Eagle. And the trend continues. We get another offensive weapon, another wide receiver in the first round, and let's see if we can get Smith a running mate. I think our weapons are pretty good. Garrett Wilson's just too good of a prospect. He falls a little in my draft, but yeah, I think he's perfection. With the 16th pick, I have the Jets going Jameis Williams out of Alabama. That's it. That's the most important thing, is to get as much good players around Zach Wilson, see if he's your dude. That's pretty much it. 17, I am going to have them take offensive line help. Zion Johnson off Boston College. Protect your investment. Justin Herbert's a beast. Needs as much protection as he can. Can't go wrong. Now here's where it gets tricky. Eagles are up. My instinct is to take Devin Lloyd. But Derek Stingley Jr. is still on the board, and he won't be on the board for much longer. I am going to stick with my gun, Devin Lloyd, no matter what. Actually, you know what? I'm going to break the rules a little bit. Proposed trade. Packers and us. Packers are going to come up from the 22nd pick, and the Packers are going to give us 22 and 59 to come up. And the Packers are going to take Chris Olave out of Ohio State. You need to get Aaron Rodgers weapons. You have all these picks. You need to go make a move. There's going to be a run on wide receivers coming soon. I see either the Chiefs, Packers moving up for a wide receiver. And then in this draft, I see the Packers. Derek Stingley goes to the Jets. It just makes too much sense. They need as much defensive help as they can. They've gone offense the last two picks. And it just makes all the sense in the world. Here's where it gets tricky. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Matt Corral is going to be going to the Steelers. I just think it just makes too much sense in the world. I think the Steelers need to get a better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky. They have all the weapons in the world. They got to come up. Next, I'm going to take... The Patriots are going to... They need a wide receiver in the worst way. They are going to take... They're not going to take a wide receiver because that is not the Patriots' way. Instead, they're going to take Andrew Booth Jr. Andrew Booth Jr. to the Patriots just seemed... He's a young, smart kid. They need corner help. Come back in the second round, get a wide receiver, and just call it a day. With the 22nd pick, I'm taking Lloyd, baby. I had to do it. Just makes all the sense in the world. Lloyd is a beast. This draft is very interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of trading back and trading forward. I think there's going to be a lot of trades. I just don't see a lot to do right now. As much as I want to trade, I don't know who's really going to be jumping up. I know the Chiefs and the Packers are going to be aggressive. They need to get a top corner. They need to get a top wide receiver. Both teams need to replace legends. And let's see what happens. The Cardinals... They're going to get defense. I'm going to have them take Elam out of Florida. They need corner help. They need to bolster that defense. I thought about offensive line here, and I just think the best player on the board for them would be a corner. They need some defensive help. Up next, the Cowboys. This sucks. They're going to get a good player. Daxton Hill. They need safety help. They start building that secondary. That's all I can say about the Cowboys. I could see them going offensive line help, but I think they go, they go defense. They need to build that defense. That defense is pretty nasty. I think they keep going. Now, Bills are up. Bills, I think, are going to be a sneaky team. I could see them trading back, but for me, they get Josh Allen another weapon. Now, it's between Burks and London. I'm going to go London. I think London and Stephon Diggs is a good matchup, a good 1-2 punch, a little different, a little different. One's speedy and one's a big dude. Josh Allen, cannon, just needs to throw it down the field. Next is the Titans. I think the Titans are going to go Nakobe Dean. They need to get more defense. They need to start stopping people. Just give the ball to Henry. I thought about a wide receiver here, but I think they stole one of the best picks in the, a fifth rounder for Robert Woods is insane. I don't know why every team wasn't in on that. But yeah, I see them needing defense, and I thought about a wide receiver, but I think they'll be good. They could pick up later ones. There's this draft class is loaded with wide receivers. Next is up the Bucks, and the Bucks. They're gonna take offensive guard Kenyon Green. They're one of their best offensive linemen just retired. They traded for one. I think they could use more offensive line. You win a lot of games if you could keep Tom Brady clean, and I think that's what they do. The Packers are up. Packers are going to take Trent McDuffie. I think Trent McDuffie is a good, solid player. I think they could use some defense. They got their wide receiver. I would love them to double dip on wide receiver, to be honest with you, and just go bananas. But I think they take the best player on the board, Trent McDuffie. They need someone to be the second corner for them, or third corner. He can play slot. I think that's a good pick. Next up is the Chiefs, and I'm going to have them stealing Treylon Burks. He's tall. He's fast. Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are very underrated. I think everyone's like thinking they're done without Tyreek Hill. I think not Perryman. What's his name? Hardman. They drafted him to replace him eventually. I think they have Pringle. They have Kelsey still. They just need one receiver, and they're back in action. And here's going to be the interesting thing. 30 is going to be a trade. The Falcons are coming up with the Chiefs. The Falcons, if I can find them. They're going to give the 30th pick. The Falcons are going to give them the 43rd, the 74th, and the 151, if that's enough to come up. It was declined. Proposed trade. I probably should have did this earlier, but, we'll see. I would do that trade. I mean, you're trading back not that much. Falcons. Uh, 43rd, 74th, 151. All right, so they didn't do it. Let's see, who could they take? This would be a great pick for Lindenbaum, but they don't need a safety. All right, Lewis Klein out of Georgia. Since they want to be jerks and they wouldn't accept trades. Can't get. You need to get better on defense. He was the best player on the board. That's all it is. Steal the draft here. Steal the draft. It's Tyler Lindenbaum going to the Bengals. Offensive lineman all day. That's all you need to do. Offensive lineman all day. And I think that's just a great pick. I think that's just a great, solid pick. And 32 overall. And we're going to shock the world. And the Lions are going to take Sam Howell out of North Carolina. They need a quarterback. You get a fifth-year option. You get one more year with golf. See what you got. Quick recap. Hutchinson goes first to the Jags. Then we have Kyle Hamilton going to the Lions. Then we have Evan Neal going to the Texans. Malik Willis going to the Saints with the trade. Thibodeau going to the Giants with the 5th pick. Kenny Pickett going 6th to the Panthers. I think that's a lock. Charles Cross going to the Giants. Trevon Walker going to the Falcons. Sauce Gardner going to the Seahawks. The North Carolina State tackle, I will not butcher your name, dude, going to the Jets. George Kalafis going to the Commanders. Jordan Davis going to the Vikings. Tremaine Johnson going to the Texans. I really wish I had put Lindenbaum to the Ravens, but they get an offensive lineman, Trevin Penny. Kind of forgot he was there. 15, Garrett Wilson goes to the Eagles. That's a steal. Jameis Williams, the next pick, goes to the Jets. Get Zach Wilson some help. Chargers continue to protect Justin Herbert with Zion Johnson. Chris Olave goes to the Packers after they trade up. Derek Stingley Jr. goes to the Jets. They start building that defense. Matt Corral goes to the Steelers. Andrew Booth goes to the Patriots. Devin Lloyd goes to my Eagles. That's a steal. Cornerback Elam from Florida goes to the Cardinals. The Cowboys get Dax Hill from Michigan. Drake London goes to the Bills. I think that's a sneaky pick. Titans get Nakobe Dean. That's a good pick. Kalen Green goes to the Bucks. Trent McDuffie goes to the Packers. Treylon Burks goes to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs trade one of these picks to a quarterback needy team to jump up to get a fifth-year option, but they were dicks and didn't want to accept any of my trades. So they go Lewis Klein at a safety, out of Georgia at a safety. Steal of the draft, Tyler Lindenbaum goes to the Bengals. And the 32th pick, the Lions get their quarterback of the future potentially with Sam Howell. Like and comment. Tell me if I am an idiot. Tell me if you like it. I'll probably do one more of these before the draft. I love doing mock drafts. I've done like 1,000. But if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, tell me to go fuck myself. All right. Love you guys. Bye.